To win back his ex-girlfriend, a man named Michael traveled all the way from Vienna to Berlin. When he entered her home, he found that she wasn't there, and only a strange heating repairman was working diligently. No matter how much Michael questioned him, the repairman ignored him. Just as Michael was about to call his girlfriend, the repairman suddenly started convulsing and collapsed to the ground in pain. At that moment, the repairman's apprentice, Harper, walked in with a hose. Unexpectedly, as soon as Harper entered, the repairman's eyes turned white and he crazily lunged at him. Michael tried to intervene but quickly became the repairman's new target. Seeing the repairman baring his teeth and charging, Michael ran upstairs in fear but was soon caught by the repairman. Luckily, Harper arrived just in time to rescue him. The two of them quickly retreated into a room, barricading the door with a cabinet to keep the crazed repairman out. What exactly happened? Michael wanted to call the police, but his phone had fallen in the hallway. Suddenly, a scream echoed from downstairs. They went to the window and saw a police officer chasing a woman. Michael quickly called for help, but the officer, like the repairman earlier, inexplicably went berserk. More crazed people appeared in the courtyard of the apartment complex, attacking others savagely. Within minutes, those bitten also turned into crazed zombies, transforming the courtyard into a hellish scene. Terrified by what they witnessed, Michael and Harper felt their stomachs churn. The other residents in the apartment were also panicked and confused. It wasn't until they saw the news on TV that they learned about the outbreak of an unknown virus in Berlin. Once humans were infected, they lost their sanity and turned into ruthless zombies. The authorities were attempting to control the situation and had advised all citizens to stay indoors and await rescue. The next day arrived, and the zombies downstairs had already disappeared. A man in the building across the street suggested that they should close the complex's main gate to prevent another zombie attack. However, he was only good at giving ideas, urging others to take action while doing nothing himself. A brother and sister living downstairs overheard the suggestion. The brother bravely volunteered to take the risk, but as soon as he stepped outside, zombies swarmed in. Although he managed to take down 2 zombies with an iron rod, more kept coming, and he was soon overwhelmed by the horde. Watching her brother's gruesome death left the sister devastated. Meanwhile, the man who had proposed the idea quietly closed his window. At this moment, the already panicked residents grew even more frantic and could only stay inside, anxiously listening to the latest broadcasts. However, the content they heard left them even more hopeless. The situation had spiraled out of control, confirmed to be some kind of infectious disease spread through blood and bodily fluids. But being infected didn't necessarily mean turning into a zombie. The virus only attacked the brain if the body released adrenaline. This meant that if someone could control their emotions and stay calm after infection, they wouldn't turn into a zombie. They could also take sedatives to suppress the virus. While this sounded simple, it was nearly impossible for anyone to remain calm in the face of a zombie attack. Moreover, most households didn't have sedatives, and Germany was already in a state of emergency. The military had begun evacuating cities by water, indicating that civilians were essentially left to fend for themselves. Just as they were at a loss for what to do, the sudden sound of a ringing phone echoed in the hallway. Michael guessed it was his girlfriend calling and, worried about her safety, decided to risk going out to retrieve the phone. To help Michael, Harper made a slingshot to fend off the zombies. They opened the door, and the hallway was eerily silent. Michael quickly spotted his phone, but just as he was about to pick it up, it started ringing again, attracting a horde of zombies. Michael managed to grab the phone at the last moment, but the zombies broke through the door, forcing the two to retreat into the bedroom and barricade the door with a wardrobe. To their dismay, the phone call was not from Michael's girlfriend. Harper tried to contact his family, but no one answered, plunging both of them into deep despair. Just then, the sound of a ship's horn suddenly echoed through the air, prompting all the remaining survivors in the complex to open their windows and look out. One of the neighbors called for help, explaining that his wife was infected with the virus and that the sedatives they had would only last for 1 more day. Most people responded that they didn't have any sedatives, but the man who always gave advice mentioned that Michael's neighbors might have some. He said that an elderly woman who lived next door to Michael often had seizures and therefore always kept sedatives at home. Hearing this, the desperate man begged Michael for help, promising to give them food in exchange for the sedatives. Since food was exactly what Michael and Harper were lacking, they decided to take the risk, despite the danger posed by the zombies. Michael spent the entire night trying to come up with a plan to safely reach the neighbor's apartment, but to no avail. The next morning, while eating the last of their food by the window, he suddenly noticed a survivor in the building opposite hanging themselves. As he stared at the iron hook on the ceiling, an idea struck him. He immediately got to work, transforming the wooden bed in their bedroom into a makeshift wall-breaking device. The device worked well, and the hard wall was quickly breached. However, it had a significant drawback. The noise it produced was loud enough to attract nearby zombies. Fortunately, the two managed to break through the wall and block the opening with a cabinet before the zombies could break through their door. During the process, though, Michael accidentally cut his arm. At that moment, the elderly woman suddenly appeared in their sight, looking strange. Both of them immediately sensed danger. The next second, the old woman lunged at them with a roar. She had clearly turned into a zombie. Michael quickly threw the elderly woman into a corner and, with Harper, dashed into a room. Harper used a table to barricade the door while Michael searched the room for tranquilizers. Meanwhile, the zombies from the neighboring apartment broke through the barrier and would soon breach the door. Michael hastily told Harper to climb onto the cabinet and hide while he ducked into the bathroom. Just when they thought they were doomed, Michael noticed something on the ceiling, a hidden ladder leading to the attic. Michael managed to escape just before the zombies entered the room. To his surprise, he found his missing girlfriend hiding in the attic. Just as Michael was about to seize the opportunity to win back his girlfriend, a man suddenly appeared and warned her about the wound on Michael's arm. The woman, frightened, stepped back despite Michael's explanation that the cut was an accident while retrieving the tranquilizers. Still wary, the woman handed him a box of tranquilizers, clearly wanting him to leave the attic. Michael quickly realized the nature of their relationship. The man was the son of the elderly woman downstairs. The woman had already moved in with him, and Michael had been dumped because of this man. As Michael grew increasingly agitated, fear of him turning into a zombie led the others to mercilessly force him onto the rooftop. His feelings of despair, combined with the sight of the devastated city, brought him to the brink of collapse. However, amidst the hopelessness, he noticed a small wooden boat on the river, igniting a spark of survival within him. Determined, Michael risked his life to climb back into the apartment building. He used roof tiles to create noise, successfully drawing the zombies away. He then knocked on the door of the household that needed tranquilizers and managed to secure the medicine. The homeowner hurriedly administered the tranquilizers to his wife. Harper, still hiding in the cupboard, soon realizes the zombies have left. To confirm it's safe, he uses a camera to peek outside and discovers the zombies fear the camera flash. Using this weakness, he not only escapes the house but also drives all the zombies out of the neighborhood, sealing the gates shut behind them. Michael witnesses this heroic act from upstairs. Meanwhile, tensions rise between the homeowner and his wife, who shows signs of mutation. Sensing trouble, Michael prepares to defend himself with tools, but the homeowner, with a despairing look, urges him to lower his weapon. Soon enough, the fully mutated woman emerges, causing Michael to retreat in fear. However, the homeowner bravely leads the zombie away, sacrificing himself in the process. With Harper clearing out the zombies, survivors gather in the courtyard to discuss their next steps. Among them are Anita, mourning her brother who was bitten while closing the gates, and Ulf, who offers suggestions but lacks action. Michael's ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend are notably absent. After learning about the zombies' weakness, Michael gathers several bright lights and plans to use the small wooden boat he found in the river to escape. However, when Ulf learns that the boat can only hold 2 people and a draw must determine who survives, he immediately opposes the plan. Despite Ulf's objections, the others ignore him and proceed with the plan. Ulf reluctantly agrees outwardly but secretly plots his own escape. While the others sleep, Ulf quietly steals the lights, intending to flee alone. Michael, awakened by the disturbance, quickly notices and confronts Ulf. Michael retrieves the lights and manages to return to the courtyard, closing the gates just in time. However, Michael is accidentally bitten by a zombie in the process. He quickly takes a calming pill, knowing it only provides temporary relief and cannot stop the mutation. Determined not to lose control, Michael modifies a fighting vehicle and personally escorts 2 people out of the courtyard before he succumbs to the infection himself. On the streets, hordes of zombies were swarming, but thanks to the cover of flashlights, Harper and Anita managed to slip through the zombie onslaught. Once he saw they were safely away, Michael returned to the yard. However, by then, he had already started showing signs of mutation. Just as he was about to take his last sedative, an elderly zombie woman chased her son into the yard. Following close behind was Michael's ex-girlfriend, now also a zombie. Apparently, she had been bitten by the old woman while trying to escape. The moment his ex-girlfriend saw Michael, she lunged at him. But since Michael already carried the virus, she didn't attack. Unable to hold back, Michael embraced her tightly. Even in her mutated state, she resisted him. At that moment, Michael fully mutated as well. Despite their transformations, Michael finally managed to hold onto his girlfriend once again. In the story's final moments, Harper and Anita were seen rowing a small boat away from the city, embarking on a new life together, free from shame or worries.